What's up, fight fans? It's your boy Nick from NickFortellaMMA.com. Today, I'll be speaking with Combate America's own Erick the Ghost Pepper Gonzalez ahead of his April 13th scrap at the Shrine in L.A. Hey, Erick, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Nick? Good to be back, man. I'm doing great. I'm over here by the beach, just relaxing.
Yeah, it sounds good. So, real quick, for anybody who's interested in catching up with Erick and hanging out with him, he'll be attending Spar Star in L.A. on March 31st. What's the location of that, Erick?
I believe it's going to be at the Hollywood Park Casino, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's why Google's a beautiful thing for anybody that wants to go.
Yeah, Spar Star, absolutely.
Yeah. So now I know you got your fight coming up. How's your training camp and your weight cut going so far?
Actually, I went on my workout today, and after I got back, weighed myself in. I was at 167, and I'm still pretty hydrated, so weight cut's going to be easy.
Yes.
Not like last time it was pretty easy just because I was sick, but, it's a different story. But other than that, fight camp's been good. I just really sticking in and kind of focusing more on just more like the wrestling, just wrestling takedowns mostly, because last time I kind of kept myself vulnerable, standing too tall and trying to focus on the head hunting. That was really where I kind of like lost my game plan and got kind of hungry for the knockout and wasn't being smart about it.
Right. So now, before we get into the main reason for this interview, real quick, if you could just give everybody kind of a little background about yourself, and one other thing, which I know is an elaborate story, but the short version of how the Ghost Pepper nickname came about, because I know someone's going to ask me, so it's better to hear it from you.
Oh, yeah. So, the nickname originated I owned a restaurant. And I just would eat habanero peppers, and one day I freaking just ate a ghost pepper, and it was roasted, and I just died, and I thought it was like one of the spiciest things ever, man. I was sweating, could barely breathe, got the hiccups, my throat was all messed up, and basically, I liked the way it kind of felt, and it was just kind of went 2 and 2 with fighting, just because, as a fighter, you want to be known as a deadly weapon. You want to be known as when they fight you, they're going to get hurt. And Ghost Pepper kind of resembles that. And it's hot, spicy, so I'm a good-looking dude. So.
Oh, there you go. That's what's up. So, as for the background part, you're still over at Systems Training Center, correct? You've probably been there what?
Actually, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, I was for 3 4 years.
I was going to say you've probably been there about 3.5 years. Are you training somewhere else or cross training somewhere else now?
Actually, my head coach Ian Harris, he opened up his own gym called Fight Science MMA with a couple of different coaches, and so basically that's based in LA off Washington. So it's called Fight Science MMA. So that's where I'm actually stationed at now. I still go to Systems here and there. I still support the Systems. I love Systems. That's it's my home. What was my first home before any of the gym, and Fight Science is, just putting my roots in now there, and it's been killer, man. It's a little farther, and the traffic's a bitch on the morning, because it takes about an hour just to get there, but it takes 15 minutes to get home. I don't know how that works.
Hey, whatever. It's the short ride home after training.
Yeah, exactly.
I want you to know that I did reach out to your opponent, Daniel Ramirez, to come on for a dual interview, have both of you guys on, which he did respectfully decline. It kind of turned, it looked like, into a little social media throwdown with you guys, and his reasoning was he had better things to do than listen to your excuses. I've talked to you several times, and I've never heard an excuse, but what are your thoughts on why he didn't come on, or what the whole excuse thing is about?
The excuse things, I was kind of surprised by that. I thought on Twitter, I gave my response, I was pretty, and it wasn't so much that, that got me mad. It was more the fact that he said, fuck bell peppers. He went from being a respectful fighter to just being a fucking asshole right away. So that kind of just pissed me off a little bit, but, it is what it is, and it's just, some feud for before the fight, which is understandable, and, I'm definitely going to feed into it, and, but excuses, I've never made one for sure, man, not for the fight. I talked to you privately, and I told you what was going on beforehand, so you had an idea what was happening. as far as, that last fight. But,
Right.
I still don't even talk about it. My coach knew what was up, and, I went in there and I fucking put in work, and, the footage speaks for itself. I didn't go in there, with that sob story or any bullshit. I came in and I went out and I took the L, and, it was, my opinion, it's, not very judged correctly, but it is what it is.
Right. So now I kind of want to backtrack a little bit, to kind of like broaden the picture. So you fought Danny the first time, February 16th, 2017. You lost the decision, at Combate 11. There was a little back and forth, a little bad blood leading up to the fight, which is, it's expected. But you turned around quick, March 30th at, Combate 12 and chalked up a
following
win.
month.
Right, which chalked up a win that put you at 7-2. Now, he also made a quick turnaround at Combate 15 and lost. So that dropped him to 6-3.
Yep.
I know from previous conversations, and you've been pretty open about wanting the rematch, with Denny.
Well, he was open to it too right away, actually. He said he was willing to take the rematch, which is kind of what made me laugh too, because I didn't even ask for it right off the bat. But I was willing. But I was more than willing to do it right away, So it was kind of funny to me, for a guy that says he won, over here asking for the rematch too.
Right away. Has there always been a kind of, I don't want to use the term bad blood, but has there always been tension between you guys?
With him, yeah. For some, it's weird how it kind of worked out. I mean, we're cordial when we see each other. It's all business when we see each other.
Right.
From fighter to fighter, there's always that respect level that it should be there as a person. But as far as social media and all the other shit, all the shit talking, it's all that's for sure. That's a feud, man. I personally don't like the guy. I'm gonna say it out loud. I really don't like him too much, and especially after the comment that was made on social media. But I just can't. I'm excited, man, and that bad blood is gonna for sure come to an end after this fight, after this rematch.
Right, there you go. So now, something I noticed, because I went back and watched the first fight. In the first one, it seemed that he was like dead set on taking this fight to the ground, which was kind of odd to me because he's got 0 wins professional via submission. That's not the case for you. You have wins via submission. It's also no secret that you are a huge supporter of the jab, and you've perfected this technique over years of training and just putting the time in. Do you think the takedowns were kind of his attempt to have an answer for your dominant jab?
Oh, absolutely. I think that once he fell, it wasn't, he didn't really feel it right off the bat on that first round. We went into that first round, he immediately took me down.
Right.
So it wasn't much, there was literally like barely any striking in that first round. But, it definitely, he definitely saw my footage because, he knew when to come in. He knew when to come in on that jab and, and I, unfortunately, was just kind of focused way too much on that striking, man, and that was my biggest mistake. It's MMA, I kind of just put that in the back burner thinking I could just outstrike this kid real quick, but, a lot of game changes is happening, and he did have a great response, but, he did take me down, and I got up right away every time. It wasn't like he just laid on top of me for 3 minutes straight, It was constantly getting up right off the bat.
It didn't really look like you took too much damage from the bottom. I mean, I'm sure you've watched the fight. I mean, he threw punches, he threw elbows, but it didn't look like you were damaged or hurt at any point.
Yeah, I would say like 90% of the punches that were on the ground were not ineffective. There was probably like one punch that really landed where I was seeing double vision because my head was on the canvas and his punch connected on my eye directly. And so I saw double vision at one point, but it wasn't like, it wasn't anything that made me feel uncomfortable. It kind of just, if anything, kind of made me more aware and made me use my surroundings of my other limbs and my other weaponry that I have.
Right. So with all that in mind, actually putting all that aside, how do you believe that you match up with Danny style-wise?
Personally, I think I have more dominant style of fighting, man. I'm an entertainer and I'm a fighter as well. I go in there and I give a crowd what they want to see, and then I do what I want to do. I think that if I step up, if I put my grappling into this fight actually, and not hold back on my grappling, and just not try to go full. Let me rephrase that. If I go with everything I have, not just my striking, I have a way dominant more style. I'm a very good grappler. I'm you know, a lot of people think I probably don't just because, you know, footage and all this shit, but I'm actually I work very well off my back. I can be a very good wrestler when I turn it on, you know, but it's just one of those fighters mentalities thing that, you know, sometimes you just don't put that full throttle when you should have.
Right, and it's odd because I don't know where you sit belt-wise, but most of your training is no-gi because that's what you would use in a fight anyway. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I actually don't even. I have a gi. The last time I wore my gi was probably like a year ago, man.
Right, because it's really technically not needed for what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly, because you're not grabbing onto clothes, you know, you're grabbing onto limbs, which is different.
Right. So now this rematch it's been in the making since the fight ended. You know, it's anticipated. Minus kicking up your wrestling, have you made any major adjustments in your camp, or you're just fine-tuning stuff?
No, actually I made adjustments with, you know, throwing in more Muay Thai. So it's just more elbows, more knees. I used elbows, but I didn't use as much as I could have. And I'm a big person. I love using elbows, man. As you know, but elbows and knees are probably the most thing that I'm throwing in my camp right now because there's going to be a lot of opportunities that I'm going to have to create a knockout opportunity. And, you know, I'm making it happen with different angles and different parts of, you know, the 8 limbs that we have.
Right. So now, I'm not attempting to stir the pot, but I think with you two, it's kind of unavoidable at this point. If you had to put a prediction on your fight, how it's going to end, what do you have? What are you thinking in your mind?
I think that I'm going to be able to submit him actually, and it's going to be well known that my ground game ain't going to be. You know, I'm going for the knockout like always, but you know, I always got to keep in mind that it's not always going to happen that way, so I can't always depend on that. And yeah, I'm actually going to be trying to go for as soon as I get him tired out and wore him out, beat the shit and battered, and I get him to the ground, it's going to be a submission game after that. And I can just definitely see that happening in the second round. He's a one-trick pony, one-round pony. You know, it has no gas tank, man. The guy has every fight I've seen in him, and even the fight after me, he's gassed out. You know, so it's kind of a joke for a fighter that's professional.
Now, here's a good one. Should you be right in your prediction and come out with the win, you know what's coming next. Would you be open to a trilogy, a third fight to settle it once and for all?
If it's a knockout, I'm gonna just let that sit in the back, and I'll get to it when I get to it. But you know, I'll be more than happy to go for a trilogy. You know, he gave me a rematch, and he asked for it himself, and I accepted it. You know, and I'd definitely be more into it. If it comes to a decision round, then I'm definitely gonna pick the trilogy. You know, but it's this fight is gonna be a lot different, man. It's gonna be a game. It's gonna be an eye opener for everybody. You know, because last fight, you know, that last fight was definitely it was an eye opener for myself as a fighter, and as from a different point of view, and watching the fight over and over. Right.
So now, because I'm not trying to keep you too long, I know you're trained and everything. Since Danny's very active on social media, he's always on there. He's always, you know, he's active, and I have no doubt that some way, somehow, this interview will come across his phone or tablet or whatever.
Oh, he'll he's gonna listen to it again.
If you could send one message out to him that you know he's going to hear, what would it be?
You know, quit making bullshit ass lies up, and you know, come at me. Let's make some fucking footage. Let's get some more feud going, man. You know, you sound like a chimp. Sound like a chump. Fucking making all these stupid ass lies, you know, and saying that I'm making excuses when I never have. So you know, unfortunately, he can fuck off, and can't wait to see him on April 13th.
It sounds like it's going to be a barn burner. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's fireworks, like fight of the night kind of fireworks.
Yeah, we got fight of the night last year, so you know. And then I think the only reason that happened is because I stayed active on my feet, and he was trying to stay on the ground. You know, he had a few good-looking takedowns. That's about it, though. It wasn't anything where it was seriously damaging or anything. You know, they look good on camera, but they don't they didn't do any damage to me, you know.
Right.
So
And yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah, like I said, you didn't look busted up. It didn't really appear like you were, taking tons and tons of damage. So it did look
I fought
good
the
for
month
the
right
camera.
after. I did fight the month right after. So I was never hurt, man. I think I walked away with like a little limpy leg, and that was it. And then I was over it within 2 days, a day, But I was ready to fight right the month right after that, and I went into that fight, and I fucking dominated on my feet, and I completely changed my game in that fight. I upped my boxing, and you could see it for itself. My game plan for that fight was just work the body, and I did.
Right. Now, real quick, I want to give you a minute to have the floor. Like I said, I don't want to keep you forever because I know you're training, tired. Any shout outs you have, friends, family, sponsors, anybody you want to thank, please go ahead and, have at that.
Yes. Big shout out to, first and foremost, my promotion, Combate America is doing it big for us, making opportunities, creating opportunities for us fighters, especially Latino fighters. Then we have, my coaches, my head coach, especially Ian, for, being there and guiding me through this journey, this crazy journey of ours. And, shout out to my family, my mom, my girl, and all my buddies that are coming out to come support. And, my training partners, the new gym that I have, and also my sponsors, man, and my new management team who's fucking been amazing, bro. Like, life-changing. Everything about my new management team is amazing. Did have management team before, and I had to let go of them. And I got a new one, which is called Upgrade Management. So, for fighters out there that are looking for, someone that take care of them, looking to upgrade management. And, Vita Goods, for sending me out, a scale, keeping my weight on check and on point. Milk and eggs, they actually just sent me out a care package and a bunch of groceries, and it's fucking got me through the whole next 2 weeks without a problem and without having to worry about eating anything bad, Let's see, and I'm missing one more, milk and eggs. Oh, it's CBD, man. I just started up CBD. I fucking highly recommend it. It's a game changer. It's made my recovery twice as fast. Achiness, muscle soreness has been gone. It's kind of it me more relaxed. And it's called Wellness Project RX. So you guys check them out. Look into CBD, especially if you're a fighter or athlete or anyone that just, has any personal issues that you should look into it. I highly recommend CBD. And that's everybody, my man.
All right. Well, as for me, first and foremost, thank you. I thank you,
Nick, for having me on here, brother.
You're welcome anytime. You know that. And I got to thank you for taking some time to do the interview, mid-fight camp. I also got to give a shout out to all the guys over at MMA Freaks.
There's no service.
If MMA Talking is what you're about, definitely go over, join the group. Best one on Facebook. Also want to give a thanks to Sean over at the Finished Podcast and Wayne at Top Team Sports Management. To keep up with everything Erick's doing, you can follow him on Facebook at Erick Gonzalez, Instagram, Ghost Pepper MMA, and Twitter at @GhostPepper_MMA.
Actually, they're both Ghost Pepper _MMA. Got it.
Oh, you switched them? Come on now.
No,
and,
they're both the same.
And as for me, mine are definitely all the same. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Nick Portella MMA. Erick, again, thank you for your time. Look forward to the scrap on the 13th, and the best of luck to you.
Thank you, Nick, man. I'll catch you soon, man. I'll catch you on Fortnite as well.
Oh, yeah, we could definitely play.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
You too. Take care.